Hey, what's up, YouTube? So, although I said that my next upgrade or custom was going to be Cad Bane, I actually had some inspiration and I decided, because it would be so easy, I decided that I was going to make a custom figure of the character Eli Vanto from the Thrawn books. I really hadn't been too familiar. Like, I used to read a lot of Timothy Zahn books when I was a lot younger, but I hadn't read the new Thrawn books. But I did recently read the new Thrawn books, and I thought they were really good, and I thought this character was really good. And I also read the comic, and I thought it was really good. So I think it would be fun to make a custom of this figure, and I think it would also be super simple because there's a lot of Imperials out there to use the body for fodder. Anyway, so this was the one I originally gotten, Admiral Piet, and this is, of course, the guy that got force choked to death by Darth Vader in A New Hope. But I came across, and the reason I chose this one is because he's pretty cheap. He's not expensive. He's not hard to find. But after I got him, I really regretted it, because another person that's not expensive and not hard to find that would have been even better was Admiral Rampart, and it comes with a mouse droid. So I actually wished, after I bought this, I sort of had buyer's regret, and I wish that I had just bought another Admiral Rampart instead. But you guys can see I'm actually holding an Admiral Rampart. That's because I went by a little small toy shop, and they had an Admiral Rampart in the box for $16, deeply discounted. So I really wanted to use Admiral Rampart, because as you can see, this guy has gloves and Admiral Rampart doesn't have gloves. Besides that, they're basically identical. And I'm just going to remove the heads, that doesn't matter, but Admiral Rampart just came with the mouse droid, and I thought that was really cool, and I wanted 2 mouse droids. Anyway, so this is the body that we're going to use, and I'll show you guys what head sculpt we're going to use. It's going to be young Han Solo from a Solo movie, so this is probably like the best use of this figure. And this guy was super cheap. Can't imagine why. There's plenty of him available in the range of about $10 to $12. I paid $10 for him, shipping included. So anyway, I'll pop that head off and put it on this Empire body. And honestly, I could leave it like that, couldn't I? I could just leave it exactly like that, and it would sort of be Eli Vanto. And I'll show you guys, I'll pop up a picture of Eli Vanto in the comic book so you can see that there's pretty good resemblance. Even though, you know, it'd be cool to add like a little bit more hair up front. It's really not so important. I think that this, and also, so for the Ahsoka series, they've actually casted this character in some capacity. He's going to be played by Wes Chatham, and I'll throw a picture of him up there too. And I think that this figure is a great likeness for Wes Chatham, and I also think that that is just great casting. I think he would be great for that part. I'm excited to see him. Maybe he'll have one line, maybe he'll have a substantial part, we don't know yet. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm going to change the colors of the face at all. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, because if you look at let's say Rampart's skin tone compared to his skin tone, you see that Rampart's skin tone is more pink than his skin tone. His is more olive toned. Well, although Wes Chatham isn't like an olive-toned individual, and it's never specified in the books, in the comics, it is indicated that Eli Vanto has sort of olive-toned, darker skin. And I mean, if you look at in the panels, you can see, and I'll even throw up some panels. You can see in one panel he's clearly a darker skin tone than Tarkin. He's a darker skin tone than other Caucasian Empire Academy initiates, whatever they're called, cadets. Anyway, so on signs. Anyway, so at first I was thinking I wanted to change the skin tone, but then when I looked at these two together, I realized like he does have a slightly more olive skin tone, so I don't know. Maybe I'll make the hair a slightly different color brown. I'm not sure, but so I've been talking about using different paints, because the paints I get are from Hobby Lobby, and they're fine. The quality is fine. The only problem is there's just not a lot of variety. There's not a lot of different colors available there. And I really don't know how I feel about buying paints online. So I'm here on a business trip to Memphis, and so I'm gonna swing by a really good what's allegedly a really good hobby shop here, and just see if I can get some inspiration in regards to paints for this custom figure. Not gonna lie, I was expecting some little hole in the wall, and this is not that. So as you probably heard, it was very loud inside of the store because they had so many model trains going, which was kind of cool and also a little bit relaxing. This store was huge, and they mostly specialized in model trains and RC cars, but they did have tons of paint. So many different colors, so much stuff. It was a little bit overwhelming at first, so I apologize for the video quality. It's definitely not my best, but I was very much overwhelmed. And really, it was hard to decide what I was going to get because there was so much. And also, nothing was really like labeled with the prices. It was hard to tell what everything costs. And they also had the old tried and true model paint, and I almost went with that just because I'm so familiar with it, and they had so many colors. But I decided to branch out just a little bit and try something else. And so I did get a little bit of inspiration while I was in there, and I decided what I was going to do is darken the hair color and then add a highlight on top of the hair color. So something simple, and maybe even try and do something with the eyebrows just to kind of darken them up. I'm really not confident enough to paint the whole face yet, so I'm just going to stick with painting the hair and keep this to a simple custom. So this is the darker color that I decided to go with. This will be the base color to cover the hair on that garbage solo figure, just to kind of change it. And then this is a slightly lighter color, and I've never used these, so here we go. Let's pop that head off. We got it in the boiling water. And I left it in there because I warmed this water up in the microwave instead of on the stove. I left it in there for about 40 seconds this time. So after this head was removed, it was time to do the exact same thing to Admiral Rampart. And actually on the first try his head didn't come off, so I actually had to submerge him. He really got waterboarded today, but finally his head was removed and we could proceed. So of course I wanted to completely saturate the head with the paint so that it would cover really well. This paint was a little bit more watery than I'm used to, but it really wasn't bad at all. And it did cover well. It did exactly what I wanted to do. And this was a super easy custom figure, the easiest ever. Because this figure was painted in a hurry before, there were parts of the hair that weren't covered, and so I was careful to try and get those little pieces just to add a little bit more volume to his hair so he looks a little bit different than this bootleg solo. And after that layer was done, I added the lighter layer. Well, at first I had to clean up a little bit as best I could where the paint had gone over just the slightest bit. But I really wanted to increase the volume of the hair, so I had to get as close as possible. And even go back in and add a little bit more. And so once that was done, it really was time to add the lighter brown color on top as sort of an ombre highlight color. See, with the darker brown, it looks a lot different. So shake up the paint and get ready to add that lighter brown. And I tried to do kind of ombre effect because of course it's not going to exactly capture how it looked in the comic book. Gotta have my tea. And but I did the best that I could, and I did a lot on the top and tried to get that ombre effect, and then I just sort of dry brushed around. And now we're going to soften that head back up so we can pop it on that Imperial body. Again, the easiest custom ever. And the head went on super easy. And there he is. I think I may still do some work on this later on, but for now I think it's fine. I did darken the eyebrows a little bit. I forgot to mention that earlier. But beyond that, here is the details on the hair. It's very subtle, but it does no longer look like Trash Can Solo, so I'm happy with it. And as far as the skin tone goes, and it's very interesting that they have decided to first of all, make him dark skinned in the comics, and then cast a white actor. So what that tells us, though, is that he's definitely, in whatever capacity he is going to be in the show Ahsoka, he, or whatever they're going to use him in, he will definitely be a villain. We can count on that. So anyway, this was definitely the easiest custom ever. Very, very easy and not expensive at all. So please like and subscribe, and we're trying to get to our goal. Our new goal is 100 subscribers. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.